Hello.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
It's been the morning. Um, Sorry I was a little late with everything today.
No
And
worries.
something popped up that pushed everything on my schedule back, but we made it. We made it. Welcome to the commentary zone, noontime edition. It's Christmas week. Happy holidays. How you doing, Jamal? Are you excited? It's the holiday
This
season, or is it just another pain in the ass?
it's to me Christmas is just now. It's now I'm older. It's all about NBA all day,
Oh, you're watching basketball.
all day. Yeah.
Oh, they haven't had to postpone any games or anything
I
like
mean,
the other
I mean
leagues?
they have, but they still keep playing.
Oh, okay. Well, this is just another pain in the ass with way too many people on the street being way too slow in doing their stuff.
Right.
That's all I have to say. All right. So as we enter the room, welcome, one and all. Um, Please give us a thumbs up just because we asked you to. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our little station or channel or whatever you call this, our little corner, our little nook of YouTube. We really appreciate. I saw we were up to what, 713.
Hmm.
That was cool. Thank you so much for joining us.
Welcome everyone.
Yep, yep. Today on the docket, we have the Family Chantel, season 3, episode 11, My Other Family. I don't know about you, Jamal, but this is like one of the most riveting storylines that I've seen on reality TV in a long time. And I so appreciate Pedro for opening up his personal life for us to see this. And I am so rooting for Pedro for this reunion or meeting for the first time of this other side of his family that he's never really associated with before. I hope it goes well because so many times this doesn't have, like, how welcoming these brothers were usually doesn't happen.
Mm. No, I get it. I mean, they were super cool. I think in their minds, and they even said it when they were talking, like we're not at fault. Like, so there's no reason to be mad at you
Yeah,
because
but
because
most people are like, you've been hidden, stay hidden. We don't know you.
mm,
And I say that just from a personal experience. So that's why I'm like so invested in this storyline and so thankful that he's decided to share it with us because this can't be easy. Um,
but you know what it is. You know what kind of probably made it easier is that they already knew. They already knew as youngsters about Pedro.
that
They knew
doesn't make
there's
they
other
only found
children.
out they only found out 10 years ago though.
We found the letter 10 years ago.
Right, but they only that's when they found out.
Right, but still they had time to process before meeting him.
Mhm.
So
Well,
that makes it, when you kind
it
of know going in, it kind of gives you and they found out as an adult. So they were who okay. Let me put it
I
this
guess
way:
it depends on the people that you're dealing with.
that and you said like this kind of thing kind of happens. Um,
Mhm.
and the culture, so maybe they're looking at dad like, well, we're not too surprised actually. When you think about it and you put it all together, plus the culture,
I think the culture has a lot to do with it because in my own personal thing, it was two different cultures, different generations. Um, yeah, it was like we don't know who you are and we don't care and or just ignore.
mm-hmm.
You're not you don't exist.
Mm.
That's the other brutal side of this. So he is so lucky. And I think it's because they're of the same culture.
Right.
And probably because I have a feeling that um, probably inheritance aren't involved, large sums of money aren't
Right.
involved.
Right.
I
That's so
think that
true.
also plays into it as well. And what's important, he's already got the name. That's a big thing. If he didn't have the name, that could also be a big block. So I don't know. I'm all in for Pedro. I'm riding hard for Pedro. Okay, so just want to go and say hi to everybody. Hey, Black Lavender. Pedro was excited to see his, but he was excited. He was nervous. He looked like he wanted to shit, vomit, piss, all of that at the same time. Blow boogers. It was it was one of the most genuine things this episode. Just Pedro's scenes. Everything else was trash. I don't know what happened in anything else in this episode. It was all wah, 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 except for Pedro. I actually sat down and I read and reread the translations. Hey, Nisei. Let's see. Hi, Susan. Hey, DSJ. I think that letter is another. Yes! We're going to talk about that. Yup. Yep. Hi, Ablavi. Hi, Barbie. Let's see. Okay, so we're all here. Let's get started. Let's start from the top. We start off in Dominican Republic. Chantel, Karen, and Winter go to the beach. The water's cold. Karen tells her it's none of their business. That's all I took away from it.
Mm, pretty much, they were filler.
Yes. Then we see Pedro walking and going to meet his brothers for the first time. He's sad that Nicole didn't go with him, but I think you have to do this in your own time when you are ready. And I think
Right.
Nicole is a little angry at a lot of other things. So she has no time to focus on this. Yeah, so yeah, her attitude right now, I wouldn't want to bring to meet with these boys for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
As much as they want a sister, I don't think they know Nicole. He said that when he was a kid, he wondered who his siblings were. And then he got to a stage where he didn't want to know. They weren't there for them. They left them to suffer. And so, but now he's ready. So like he's gone through the ups and downs of his emotions. He's processed stuff. And now he thinks that he's emotionally and mentally ready to confront this other side of his family. Ciao. What else happened? Oh, the brothers arrive and Pedro thanks them for coming. Everybody is so nice, so polite. But Pedro sits back and he's like, wow, they're so they're so white and I'm so black.
Right.
I love it that he says what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I was with that. I was on that same channel. Like, oh, okay, this is interesting.
But you see, this is what I was telling you. Like in the Caribbean, like it's white or black, or
Right.
I'm a mixed breed.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like three things, and that's it. People ask me, what am I when I'm here? I say I'm biracial, black and white. And oh, you're African American. No, black, white. That's how I see it because that's my culture.
Mm-hmm.
So
But with American standards, though, that's how it is, and people fail to. That's the one thing I don't understand. Which is why they fail to don't grasp that concept is because it's always been this way in American culture. If you have too much any black in you, you are just black.
mm-hmm.
That's just the way it is. And
Mm-hmm.
then when I had this conversation with someone else, I'm like, I had to explain to them like the way it's seen here is that when you ask somebody, oh, like you could tell they're mixed, but you ask them like, oh, what
Mhm.
are you? And it's like, oh, I'm biracial. Black people in as a general get insulted because you don't. It's like you don't want to be black. You it's like the I call it the Tiger Woods syndrome
Well, look,
when they would call him black and he was like no 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 this and this.
I understand how I am perceived, and I have no issue with how I could be perceived. However, I'm not going to disown one part of me for
Right.
another. I accept myself as being biracial.
Mhm.
However, if others see me as something else, that's for them. And I'm okay with that. As long as it's
Right.
not insulting,
He's
I'm
like,
okay.
he's
You
like,
know,
you're not trying to talk about it. Like, you're not
you know what? Everybody has their own perceptions. Can I change that? No. But how I see myself is for me,
right.
and I get it. I get it. Do I think a lot about how people perceive me? No. That's it. How I am not going to disown a part of me because of your perception.
That's why
If
I
you
tell
ask
people.
me what I am and I say it and you go, "Oh, okay, but you black?" All right. But I notice no one ever says, "But you white."
Yeah,
And
like
I
I'm like,
know it's like the
mhm.
little drop of coffee makes it all dark or whatever the old saying is. I get it. I get it. But I this is my racial makeup and this is how I accept myself. How you perceive me, that's on you. Yeah. He's a carbon Asian? Oh my lord.
Yeah, he's also I'm complacent. We're like, okay, stop. Just
Oh wait,
no.
did you see him and his son going out and
They
playing
were
golf
so
for the
cute.
first time? Listen, he must be the bionic man right about now because he's got so many artificial parts and pins and rods and what have you. I think it's amazing in less than a year that he came back from that accident. First trip, first golfing thing out was with his son. I thought it was wonderful. Prayers to you. But is it bad that I'm going to say he was probably on a lot of medication to just get out there and play?
Mm-mm.
He, anywho, we digress. Well, I digress. Yeah, so they greet each other. It's very cordial. We find out that Jonathan is the oldest at 36 and Pedro Jose Jr. is 35. And our Pedro, we're going to call the new Pedro Jr. and our Pedro, just to, there's a lot of
Right.
Pedros going on in here. And our Pedro says that Junior looks so much like Nicole that if you put a wig on him, they would look the same. I
I was
didn't
like,
see that.
okay. Me neither. I was like, okay, that's what you're gonna go with.
He says around the eyes, though. He says like the forehead and the eyes. I guess he's lived with Nicole his whole life. I guess he would figure it out, but I didn't so much see it, but okay. And Nilka said the mouth. I didn't see the mouth.
Mm-mm.
I think she has her mother's mouth, but
She
whatever.
does.
Um, the boys say that they've never talked about this with their dad, that it's a painful subject in their family. It's like taboo. Child, I know that. Um, but to the brothers' credit, they asked for Nicole and they asked if she's coming. They've never had a sister, so they were looking forward to meeting her. Wow.
I do
Mm.
have a question with them with Pedro though, and it's two parts. The first part is this: I want to know when
Mhm.
they found out they had another family. Here's the reason why: because he said ever since I was young, I
Mhm.
always wondered um who my siblings were. I'm like, well, hold up. When did you find out? because in real time, it seems like you guys just found out recently, but you're saying when you were younger, you
Mm-hmm.
were wondering who the other. So I want to know when y'all found out what, because it doesn't make sense.
Listen, I think they knew that their father had another family and that's why he wasn't with them. I think they knew that part. But I don't think they've ever met who that other family is. They've always known who their father was because
Hmm.
obviously Pedro's named after him and they carry
Right.
that man's last name. And as petty as Lydia is, I'm sure she threw at them, your daddy ain't here because he with his other family,
Gotcha.
right? I think she probably did one of those things.
Oof.
Um, but as to meeting them and
Right.
knowing their names, you know, he probably knew he had siblings, but never knew them as actual boys, girls, Pedro Jr. Like it was a shock for him to find out that he wasn't the only Pedro Jr. I don't think he knew their names. I didn't know. I don't think he knew like if they were boys or girls or how many of them or anything like that until he met with the cousin Nierka or whatever her name is. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that.
And now we know who's the first junior, and it's the other brother.
Right, right. Um, so let's see. He says that Pedro says that it's weird meeting them and like he starts to tell his story, but he says, I don't want to be disrespectful, but I just want you to know like what I have found out and how the story went and what they have told me. And so he tells them like a sanitized story and they're not surprised. You notice when he said that your father was very, brought gifts and stuff like that, always
Hmm.
made sure they weren't surprised. They were not surprised. And I have a feeling that, like we find out at the end, I think they already know that Pedro and Nicole might not be the only siblings they got.
Right.
Um, and I like when Junior asked him, so what was the excuse that dad gave for not being there? And Pedro says he traveled a lot for business.
Hmm.
And so Junior was smirking throughout this segment at the table, and I really wasn't feeling him. I wasn't liking him. I didn't like his reactions. But at the end, I think Jonathan was the most compassionate, and I think he brought Junior around by the time they had their confessional at the end. But let me see. So he tells the whole thing. Jonathan then says, that their father was there all the time. He was a good father. He was very strict. Um, you know, but I think he has compassion because he's realizing that the situations are very different.
Hmm.
That Pedro did not grow up with his dad. That there was some hardship. Meanwhile, he had his dad, their dad, and it was as if they were like the typical happy family, you know? What? They knew daddy. Oh my God. They knew daddy was the original to have his sister wives. Oh my God. Ablavi, you're a mess. Blyla, it's time to get Pedro's sperm donor on the show and get some face to face answers. Yikes. I agree with that. I agree with that. Hey Ryan. Let's see. Okay, so Junior says that it's shocking to find out that the person you've known all your life has another family. And I can understand that. Um, Pedro asked how they found out. And Junior said that their dad asked them to go and clean up some business papers or organize or sort some business papers. And when they're going through them, they found some torn up papers. So Jonathan says that if it's torn, it might be interesting. So them being nosy, they open Pandora's box and start putting back together the pieces of the paper and realize that it's a letter. And they think it's from Lydia. It must be from his mom saying that, you need to have a relationship with your kids. Wow. Pedro is surprised by this.
Well, we said she probably tried to reach out to him.
Yeah. Honestly, do I think Lydia wanted him to get to know these kids? No, because whenever he came over, it was late at night and she told the kids to get into their room. It was never to associate with their dad. So this letter seems sketchy. Like if it was saying, you need to send me some pesos, then I would have been like, oh, okay, that sounds like Lydia. But I was like, whatever, Hey, JC Bear, welcome. Junior says, hold on. Junior says that the letter mentioned that his dad no longer came to see his kids, right?
Yes.
Junior then goes and gives the letter to his mom. And this created the fiasco, the taboo in the family. And it seems that's why they didn't talk about it after that, because I guess it's hurtful to their mother, right? So Pedro is very happy hearing about this, that, his mom was trying to fight for a relationship for her children. This is how he's taking it. And he wants to apologize to Lydia for how he's been thinking and saying stuff to her. Too soon. Pump those brakes. Junior says that their dad told their mom that he wanted them to find out about this when he was dead.
Right.
I thought that was a bit dramatic for just 2 kids.
Not just 2 kids.
I wonder if he's like a mailman or something, because I got a feeling like there's a lot of little Pedro droplings all over DR.
You think?
Yeah.
But they said he was going away on business, so I wouldn't say he's a mailman, to be completely honest.
I don't know. I'm just wondering. And then I need clarification on when his father first saw his mother walking home from school, because I was interpreting it like she was in upper school or at least college type age. I just want clarification on that. Hold on. Okay, so then Pedro says, he wanted to do this meeting because he had questions and he just wanted to get this out in the open. And then Jonathan suggests that he contact their father. I don't think Junior was too much on board with that. But Jonathan puts the number in Pedro's phone and he says, when you're ready, give our father a call. And honestly, that's the person that's going to have the other set of real answers that you're looking for, not these 2 brothers.
Nope.
Junior warns that, they're not sure how he's going to react, because remember, Jonathan said earlier that he was very strict. So I'm interpreting that as he got a temper. And Junior says that he's not sure how his dad will react. Jonathan tells him that he should at least try so that he doesn't live with regret of not trying. And I agree with that.
So do
I. Then Junior says that it hurts him that they had to live life like they did simply because they were born, how they were born. And he would like to connect with them and have a relationship. So I think this was a turning point for Junior based on the way how he came in to how he left.
Right.
I think he determined that our Pedro is no threat to him or his family. They say goodbye, and Pedro hopes that the relationship doesn't end there, which I'm hoping for too. Next, we see River in the studio, and he's singing. He's doing some la 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 la. Megan arrives. He's being vulnerable. She break up with him because he says something about she don't show up, and she's like, I live 4 hours away, I got a kid, I'm going to school, I work, I ain't got no time for your juvenile behavior, whatever, you hurt me. And then they were outside, and the cameramen were so shady, the way how they were taking the outside footage. But yeah, I guess they broke up. I don't know, I wasn't really listening.
It sounds like the day he was crying because he was out there. It sounds like he was out there crying trying to get her back. I'm like, no, like she's done. Let it go.
I should have paid attention, because then I would have had something to laugh at. Okay.
Like he was like
Mm-mm.
literally like to me like almost crying. Like, are you serious?
Wow. And he got one kiss.
Yeah.
Okay. Next. All right. So Pedro goes back to the hotel, and he's excited to tell Chantel everything that happened with meeting his brothers. And they sit down at this table, and he's telling her that they were nice. So she starts asking questions. And she asks, when did they find out? Um, and he tells her about the letter. And he says that he's no longer blaming his mom, because she did try to build a relationship between the father and the kids. And he's now firmly blaming his father. Pedro, you thinking like that 5-year-old. I'm
Right.
going to need you to grow up. I'm going to need you to see this differently. But Chantel, time and place, time and place. You should have said, oh, that's interesting. Tell me more. But instead, she started drilling down and started saying, well, Lydia treated you bad, and Lydia was getting you upset, and wrong road. Wrong road. Okay, Brian, you're so messy. Show of hands. Who thought Megan and River were gonna last? No one.
Right.
Hi, Wind Whispers. Yeah, it seems like Megan and River broke up. Who cares? I thought the family alone would chase her away. Poor boy. I wasn't expecting it to happen that way. Um, Remember that meeting at the diner? Chantel and Karen basically thought Megan was irrelevant. They weren't going to waste their time or energy on her. They knew that wasn't going to work out. They knew that. Mm-mm, mm-mm. Um, let's see. What else did she do during this? What did you think about this scene with him? Because basically he gets up and he's like, if you ain't going to support me, go back to the States.
She was being ridiculous. I'm sorry. She didn't say anything out of pocket in my opinion. She was just trying to let him know, like, hey, like you need to look at this rationally and from a full point of view. You can't just go in and just completely exonerating your mom and just blaming your dad because you're too extreme. Basically, what she's trying to tell me, you're too extreme with your thoughts. You need to think this through.
True, but he is a whirlwind of emotion. I
Hmm.
wouldn't have done it that time. I really wouldn't have. I would have been like, oh, that's interesting. And how do you feel about that? And are you sure about that? I wouldn't have gone in instantly saying, well, your mama did this and your mama did that.
Yeah, but what she was saying wasn't wrong. It's just but this is just her personality to say what's in her head and what she's feeling, what
Mm-hmm.
her thoughts. And we have to. I kind of thought she's a little too much, but I had to think about like she's only there for her husband.
Exactly. And
That's it.
I'm not saying she was wrong,
No, she
because
was just there.
look, the way how Lydia behaves, look at the next scene when he go home to Lydia house. And
Hmm.
look how that ended.
Right.
If she had just said, wow, that's amazing, that's interesting, so how do you feel? Just let him talk. He's
Hmm.
gonna figure it out eventually. He's not stupid. He went over to his mama house to fully apologize, but he started asking questions. Again,
Hmm.
opening up that Pandora box. And Lydia is Lydia. Lydia is devoid of emotions and is ready to cut people off at the knees. And she's the gift that just keeps on giving.
I think with Chantel, she's trying to like get Pedro to see the more rational side of things,
And
and
I agree.
he's in an emotional state, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
So she's what comes across is like she's trying to hammer things into him when it's not the proper time. He's not
Mm-hmm.
there yet,
Yeah.
and but in her mind, all she's in like, I need to get my man better. I need to make him understand. He needs to really see his family for what they are, and like she don't care. This is beyond. She don't give a damn about his family. She's all about her husband, but that makes her too laser focused and with blinders
Right.
on to really help him the way he needs right now.
Listen, there's a way that she could play this. She should never even be saying anything about them.
No.
She really shouldn't, because Lydia is her own worst enemy at this point. And I agree with with Ryan. Chantel wasn't wrong, but her approach was wrong.
Yep.
He just met his estranged brothers and learned new things about his daddy. He's still processing that. Yes.
She should just say like, "Oh my God, congratulations! How'd it go?"
Or
And
I
left it
can't
there.
wait to meet them. They
Yeah.
sound super cool.
Yes.
This is wonderful for you. Focus on that. Focus on that. And when he said he's going to apologize to his mom, go, wow, that's amazing. You have to do what's right for you. And I support you in whatever you decide. He go home to Lydia and she say all of her rah-rah to him. And he goes through another emotional breakdown out in the streets of Santo Domingo. And then he come home and he go, Pinky, she doesn't love him. Because what's the first question he asked his mom? It was something that Chantel asked her earlier. He's listening. It's just a lot for him to process, and he's processing this a little bit slower than you, because you
Mhm.
was a third party on the outside and you weren't
Right.
involved in it.
And you know what? I will give her credit. She acknowledged that she's an outside person looking in, so she can look at it. She's not emotionally invested, so she can look at it in a more analytical space.
Mm-hmm.
But since you know that, you need to adjust. You need to adjust your tone. That's all.
What happened to Lydia to make her so heartless? I think
She loved that man.
somebody broke her heart. Yup.
She loved that man. You're not gonna tell me. You're not gonna tell me otherwise. Well, you can try, but I'm not gonna believe you.
You don't have two children for a man and not love them. Like, I think she was young. This was 30 years ago. She was young. She
Mhm.
was young and dumb, young and foolish. She probably thought she was probably like Nicole, thinking that she could change this man
Mhm.
and get him to come to her, you know?
Oh, I have a thought. I have a thought. Now that you just
Hmm.
said that, do you think that Lydia thinks that Alejandro may have a secret family somewhere?
Probably. Or worse yet, that he's one of the Pedro droppings around TR.
Hey, because the way she's reacting, I'm like, well, he doesn't. They already said he don't have the money. If he had the money, he'd be accepted. That's one thing. But do you? I just keep wondering. She's putting her own experience onto Nicole, which we said. But I'm like,
Mhm.
does she really think he has a secret family?
Mhm. Basically, I don't think Lydia no longer trusts men.
Mhm.
No, and they are just there for tools to be used, including her own son. You know,
Mhm.
Barbie says, I hate that Lydia and Nicole have such high expectations of Pedro, but not Daddy Pedro. I think Lydia is just done. Like, her heart is shriveled, it's shattered. she has no more emotional feelings towards Daddy Pedro. Nicole still needs to get over her anger and process this whole thing. I think she's just compartmentalized it and she just doesn't care about it for now. She got other things going on in her life, like getting new titties, getting her braces off, and trying to make this Alejandro conform to what she wants him to be, which is impossible. Ryan says, Mama Karen told Chantel to just listen and be there for her husband. And she's ignored it every time that Karen said that. Let's see. Blavy says, do you think Lydia be out there dipping and doing it? She's still young.
Yeah.
She ain't dry yet. Why not? It's hard for me to feel pity on her when she comes off so heartless towards her own children. She's had a rough life. She's had a rough life.
It's very interesting because I think it was Pedro who said this, correct me if I'm wrong, but he said, growing up, we had everything. Like, we were good. All that was missing was him. And I'm like, well, what happened to all the struggles? You went from struggling to him providing everything you need, but he just wasn't emotionally there, to y'all struggling again. Which one is it?
I don't know. Maybe when he was coming when they were younger, they he was the support was there, the financial support was there. But then when she got that last 5,000 pesos in March of 2020, then the struggle began. Maybe she was a kept woman for a while, and then not.
So the way I was reading, I'm like, it made no sense to me. Now we're talking this through. I'm like, well, maybe what happened was, like, as long as Lydia was a secret family, like, he was cool, he was doing what he needed to do. He just couldn't be there emotionally. But then when she wrote that letter to him, like, or whatever he came clean, whatever. He once they couldn't come to an agreement, he cut them off financially. In my mind, I think that's how it worked out. Because if he was providing for you, like, with no problem before, like, there was no reason for it to stop until you said she probably gave him an ultimatum. When she gave the ultimatum, he cut them off. He's like,
well,
a blog says they struggle but had the basics. Okay, a blog, I can go with that too.
Yeah,
I can go with that too.
Okay, so then he walks off from Chantel, and he goes into this little area, this little alcove, and he tries to call his father twice in a row, and it goes to voicemail. And he sits there and he's like, could Junior and Jonathan have gotten to him and warned him? Or maybe he just sees this overseas number and he doesn't want to pick up. Like, I don't know how to even process him not answering the phone. And to be quite honest, when I was in the Caribbean and I saw an overseas number come over on my phone that I did not recognize, I did not answer. I wasn't incurring, because it's more charges. It's charged higher as an overseas call in Barbados. Well, at least it used to be many, many years ago when we first got cell phones.
I do that in my real life. Look, I don't know you.
Oh.
I feel like if it's important, you will leave a voicemail.
Yeah. He didn't leave a message, though. But not many people listen to messages now, so I get it. So then we go back to River and Megan. I guess this is the scene where they're outside and he's crying or whatever. I didn't care. Did you have any comments?
No, to me it was ridiculous. I'm sorry, it was, because why are you crying over someone like y'all ain't never done nothing serious, you really don't spend that much time together. Why are you crying? I just don't understand the crying. And why are you trying to get this person back? Like, you never really had this person. because you're not in the space to have this person. And she was really respectful about it too, because she could have been really brutal on him, but she wasn't. He needs to understand, like, sir, you're not there yet.
Mm-hmm.
You're just not there yet. I mean, you're still making love songs for someone. I'm going to need him to understand that you're making love songs, for someone you barely know.
I heard Kentucky and Jerk Chicken. That's a love song. I didn't listen to the whole thing. I
There's no
did.
need to. Um, there really wasn't. It was really, really like, oof. Like, it was like he was trying to like be like a mix of R. Kelly and Drake. Or no, Keith Sweat and Drake crying and rapping. Like, that doesn't really work.
Oh, okay.
I
Can
wasn't gonna sit there. She's like, "Oh my god, it's cute, it's good." Why you see? You don't go out the door lying like that. You tell the truth.
Oh my God, child. Well, now we have the scene where Pedro goes to Lydia's apartment. Okay. Now, guys, let's remember. I put up Tony's comment and the timeline. Okay. So the timeline, everybody is syncing up with this 2010 timeline. Because remember, Junior said they found the letter in 2010, right?
Hmm.
We get to Pedro and Lydia's scene, and he's telling her about the meeting. She still doesn't care. She's very blasé about it. But he's like, he wants to talk to his mother to learn the truth. I think he wants her to stop joking and just poo-pooing this away and
Right.
just give him some honest answers. And he tells her what Junior told him about the letter and that she wrote the letter to their dad. And she goes, I don't remember a letter. I believe Lydia. Here's why. Lydia has some sort of legal background. She's an attorney. She's not an attorney. She's something. I don't know what she is, but Lydia is very calculating and remembers everything. In her confessional, she said, I saw him in March of 2020 for the last time. He gave me 5,000 pesos and I was done. It was over, finito. Everything is lining up with the 2010 timeline.
Hmm.
When Pedro goes outside, oh, and he also asked her, did you love
Ooh,
him? And she was like, no. And he was like, were we mistakes? And she was like, yeah.
I just thought about this. 10 years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
Remember, 10 years ago will make Nicole 14, 15, which is the last
When
time when
she
she
had
said,
the argument,
Yes,
it's all
yes."
lining up. It's all lining up because
Hmm.
she's 26. Because she's 26 when this was filmed.
She just turned 26. It's like that in between space.
So she said 14,
14,
15, or
15.
16,
Right.
somewhere around there.
Hmm.
So she cussed out her daddy. Lydia
Right.
begging for support, she got 5,000 pesos and she was done. Nicole was done. And that had to have happened around the same time. And I bet you it was around March of 2010. The boys found the paperwork sometime in 2010. That was not Lydia. I don't think Lydia's that messy to leave paperwork, like a paper trail. She want
Hmm.
everything under the table,
Right.
verbal. Um, and I think he was super super hurt when he asked his mom if she loved his father, and she said no.
But did you notice how her body and her face, her whole tone shifted when he brought up that letter? Her whole
Yes,
demeanor changed.
but she
It
said
was just.
I don't remember that, and it
Hmm.
was like that bitch got some other droplings out there. I think she put it together real quick. There
Oh
was no
yeah.
letter from me. That had to be somebody else. Or the boys were lying to you,
Hmm.
you know? Um, you know, The second blow was like, were we mistakes? Lydia, that was low. You know, your children were not mistakes. You shouldn't have said that, but you just so deep in your own hurt.
Tony wants to know, wait, didn't the brother say he saw the paper when he was 10? I'm confused. I think he saw it 10 years ago, is the way I took
Yeah,
it.
10 years ago, around 2010, everybody's saying that same thing. Oh my God. Tony can't stand the storyline with Megan. I can't either. I don't listen to it. And I'm sorry I'm not doing this whole thing justice, but I'm only interested in Pedro, to be honest. Let's see. Okay. He says that hold on. Okay, so when she says that last thing, like he looks, you could actually see the air come out of him. And he just doesn't even know how, like, if he couldn't process before, this is a lot in one day.
Yes, it is.
This is a lot in one day. If he thought the Campo was bad, this is horrible. This is horrible. And he just walks outside and like he's kicking the tire. He doesn't even know what to do with himself. His mind is in a whirlwind, and like his physical body is like in a whirlwind too. And then he picks up his phone and he calls Junior and he starts asking about that letter. And he said if the letter had names on it. And
Right.
Junior's like, I can't really remember, but he doesn't remember names, that there were no names. And Pedro then asked if he could see the letter, and Junior said that his mom destroyed it.
Mm-hmm.
Holy cow. There's more kids out there. I believe Lydia when she said that she doesn't remember writing a letter. I believe Lydia is one of those people that deal under the table all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's just her way. It's just her mentality. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I believe Lydia that there was no letter. I think there's more kids out there. We got to get on Facebook. Nierka, get on Facebook and look for the rest of them kids. And next week's episode looks bananas.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
Nicole, I'm not here for what you're doing, but Lydia, I wanna see the mess at this hotel. I'm surprised that they haven't been blacklisted from this hotel yet.
right.
They must have a special area where they go and they cause their breakage, and the police come this time. My God.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm. Okay, so hold on. Let me see what y'all are saying. Ryan says she might have to watch the episode again. Yeah, just watch the Pedro bits.
Right.
Everything else is irrelevant.
Right. Because everything else is like, we don't even need you.
Okay, so I think we need to do a physical grab. Yes, we need to do some like sort of chronological timeline so that we could all piece this together and help him. So Tony says, yeah, I can see more kids since the daddy is being shady. I need to hear from, yes, we need to get him on here before the end of this season. I need answers. I am dying for Pedro. I want this to work out so well for him. I really do, because it'll give me hope. Not really, but I want this to work out and end up with a nice little pretty bow at the top and everybody is happy. I even want Nicole to come around and like engage with this part of her family. Maybe it would take away some of that bitterness that she has inside her. DSJ, finally TLC gave us something juicy. Tony, and real as hell. Yes, this doesn't come across as fake to me at all. I do not think that they are that great of actors or actresses. Kudos to Pedro for sharing this with us. In the preview, Lydia is going off at just Pedro or the family Chantel. I don't know. I couldn't. It was such a quick clip, and I wouldn't be surprised if she goes off at everybody, because isn't it like she's saying that he's siding with the family Chantel, or they're taking him over or something. It was just really chaotic. When whispers, maybe I'm a little bit of a petty troublemaker, but I'd like to see a throwdown between Chantel and Pedro's sister. Nobody's messing with the new breasticles.
Right. Yeah, no.
They barely settled yet. I wouldn't want anybody to go and pop them. Tony says that she feels for him, and knowing how women are in the islands, I know this must hurt him. I have a cousin just like Pedro mom. Wow. Ablavi says, next time I'm in the DR, I'll be going to that hotel. Oh my God. It looks like they have really great drinks though. I ain't gonna lie. I like the Punta Cana side. I've never been to Santo Domingo, but we shall see.
Mm-hmm.
This was a great episode. I was thoroughly entranced.
So I'm rewatching this part right now just to see the closed captions. And so basically I'm at the point where they find the letter, but it seems like it was 10 years ago because these were business papers, and I don't think a 10-year-old would know how to sort through business papers.
Right. And Junior is the one that's 35. So he would have been 25. So yeah.
10 years.
And you said they're Irish twins though? They're like a year apart.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's some stuff.
Like, Pedro Jose is a slut.
Right here. Hold on a second.
Break.
Let me see if I can share the screen.
Wait, hold on. Are you going to show the video?
I'm trying to figure out how to do that. Well,
wait,
give me 2 seconds. Give me 2 seconds.
I think maybe you should just read the subtitles, because remember TLC, we got struck by them. I don't want to mess with them.
So basically what it says, Pedro asks, like, when they're going through the story, and Pedro asks, like, well, about when did you find this letter? And just if you guys want to know, it's at the 12-minute 41-second mark of the well, at least I watched Discovery Plus, so if you have it, at the 12-minute mark of the show. And the younger one, I guess the younger one's what, Jonathan? No,
no, Jonathan's the older one. It's Junior that's the younger one.
Okay, Junior says he found it about 10 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
That's where that is. The hotel name is, I think the hotel name is called, the hotel name, I'm not sure what it's called. They were at Vale. That's what the brothers in them met, but I'm not sure what the hotel's called.
It's interesting that they've been to this hotel over and over again, and we don't know the name of the hotel. Why is that? Oh my goodness. Okay, so guys, that was the episode. I'm looking forward to next week. These episodes have not disappointed. Have we had a filler episode yet, Jamal?
Filler scenes, yes. Filler episodes, no.
Okay, so then they're kind of producing this really nice. The editors are giving it a good flow. The drama is building and building and building. I wonder how many episodes this season. It has to be coming to the end. We don't usually get a lot.
I don't think we're gonna see. I don't think we're gonna see Papa Pedro this season. They're probably gonna save him for next season.
We need him in this season. At least one meeting, even if it doesn't end well. Ugh. Well, anyway, guys, let us know your thoughts. I just like the show minus the additional people. Oh, yeah. Here's the thing. I'd rather have River and Winter on this show than to give Karen what she's really angling for, which is her own show, because that would be a hot, boring mess. Um, just give them in small doses on this show. I think it would be epic if Royal came back and outed the entire family for how they are. That would be great, but is it
Mm-hmm.
going to happen? Probably not. Um, okay, so Ryan says River and Megan's relationship is a whole filler. Agreed. Agreed.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Um,
Definitely a whole filler.
And when whispers, I'm with Jamal on that one. I think they will drag this out and wait a season or two before bringing in Daddy.
Oh yes.
I cannot, not 2 seasons. My God.
Mm, I think
Maybe
next
they can,
season.
maybe they can end the season with, you know, Papa Pedro walking in.
Right.
And then you're like, "Arr!" And you have to watch the next season.
I'm here for that.
Wait,
To be
Royal and Anjanette had their baby? I thought they broke up. I don't, there might be somebody else. There's too many of these 90-day couples.
there really is though. If we're being honest.
Is the baby his?
Shut up.
I'm asking for a friend. It's just me. I'm curious. Okay, so this was the Family Chantel season 3, episode 11, My Other Family. Stellar episode. Stellar. Okay, so guys, you've been amazing in the live chat. I cannot wait to see the comments on this episode. Tomorrow, we're getting together at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. We're going to be doing Real Housewives of, is it OC? Yeah, OC.
Yeah.
That's coming on tonight. So tune in tomorrow. Join us
And
for
then
that.
I think we'll have to. I think we'll have to sneak in Project Runway. I still owe that one.
Oh, yes. Okay.
We'll figure it
All
out.
right.
We'll make it. We'll make it
Yeah.
work. Make it work. Make it
We'll
work.
we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. G accounts. Oh, season. Okay, so Blobby says season 4 Amari tease.
Hmm.
And
I can see
Ryan
that.
says, I saw it on one of the 90 Day Fiance IG accounts that you follow. That's cool. Congratulations to them on becoming parents. Wow. Good luck to the baby.
Exactly.
And Grandma Karen, can you just wait? She's going to come up with some stupid grandma name
Hmm.
and give that kid boots and a hat. Ugh. Anyway, guys, join us back here tomorrow. Don't forget, give us a thumbs up. We've only got 11 thumbs up. Please give us some more thumbs up. We really appreciate you joining us today. If you haven't already, please subscribe, hit the notification bell, follow us on Twitter. That way, you'll also get a notification for every time we go live. Jamal, any final thoughts?
No, we are good.
Cool. Well, until next time,
Of course.
bye.
Bye.